let's now pivot to what we heard yesterday from President Trump. You heard the sound there. He says CUSMA is basically irrelevant and that the U.S. doesn't need Canadian parts or anything made in Canada in terms of autos. There was some pushback to that, even from within the U.S. auto industry. What's your reaction to that, and what does that forecast to you about where the negotiations could be heading later this year?
Well, I mean, I think we have to take some of these comments with a bit of a grain of salt in terms of perhaps a bit of bluster before the negotiations. But I mean, the president has been clear in his comments for many months now, maybe just positioning, but that he doesn't think the automotive industry in Canada should essentially exist. I think the thing that the president probably does need to consider is that he might not think that the Canadian automotive industry is relevant. Would beg to differ, and we could see what happens if that agreement went by the wayside. But what he does need to consider is that Canada is the largest market for American vehicles as well, and that's something that I suspect our negotiators will be raising with the president's administration, that, well, you might not want our vehicles, but maybe, if that's the way we're going to play the game, then there's a case to be made that perhaps we don't need your vehicles either. And I don't know of any other jurisdiction that would be taking the vehicles coming from the U.S. that Canada is absorbing right now.
David, can you give us a final thought on where the automotive industry is right now? Just listening to this conversation, there's, tariffs with China, uncertainty with the U.S. What is all of this uncertainty doing to the Canadian auto industry and workers right now?
Well, look, I mean, it certainly accentuates the fact that we're in uncharted territory. We've been dealing with uncertainty for a year now, and more uncertainty moving forward, and that seems to be sort of the environment in which the president likes to operate, is cultivating an environment of uncertainty. And of course, and not only the Canadian automotive industry, but for all industry in Canada, when you have uncertainty, that makes it a real challenge for securing investment in this country. And I think, that's part of the reason why the Prime Minister and his team are over in China, and why the Prime Minister has been, essentially going around the world, cultivating better trade relations with other countries, because the certainty that we had with U.S. administration and our trading relationship isn't there anymore.
David Adams, thanks so much, David. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you.